Hey guys, so the hoop house is finished. I'm just doing another project, making one of these blue barrels into a frame. I'll be posting that one up on Gumroad soon. Anyway, so the hoop house, I originally intended the shade cloth to come down to that white bar that you can see, that white piece of wood. But even though it's getting a bit cooler because it's our winter, probably because it's waterproof shade cloth, it was a little bit hot in under there. I could feel it. So what we did is brought the shade cloth down and fixed it permanently to this batten here, which is about, say, 5 feet high, and then I left the rest of the shade cloth I screwed the bottom of it onto a it's about 1.25 inch heavy duty conduit. And then with these big rubber band things, I can just have it sit there, and then when it's really cold in winter, or it's got cold breeze or whatever I want to cut out, I can lower that one down back to that that bottom level. I always meant to have that side up at that level there to enable me to access the in behind here. That's where I've worked out I'll store the finished vermicompost. I did work out I wanted to use the leftover bits of the concrete area. I mean, that's the wedge over there. I've finished that off. I've worked out my maths a bit better after looking at the area physically, and worked out it'd be better to have one big wedge than two smaller wedges. So I can actually pile that one up. I've worked out to 85 centimeters high, so that's just under 3 feet high, which is, I don't know if you can see, there's a chalk line just here that I've put on there, and then I washed half of it off. But that's the height I'll make the pile up to, and then it'll come out to as far as the bottom of one of these pallets. So that's just under 4 feet, say 3.5 feet this way. So it'll be a slope back there that way, and then the feeding face is this face down here. And so I've worked out that if I feed 2 inches, a full 2 inches thick of material across the face each week, so I'm bringing the pile over 2 inches each week, I'll get it to the other side, and the stuff on the right hand side of the halfway point will be over 120 days old, and by the figures I quote, that's a perfect amount of time. So that's the size of the wedge. It's 3 meters, which is 10 feet. So it's 10 feet left to right, nearly 3 feet high it's going to be, and 3 and a bit feet wide out towards us. Later on I can extend it a little bit further out towards us, maybe out to that middle hoop if I need to, but I'll see how that goes. But anyway, so I worked out I wanted to use the pad for a little bit more than just the wedge, and I wanted to get rid of the old shade structure that I had outside that was just really a collection zone for rubbish. So I wanted to move these farms in here. So I've got my round can of worms, my square, that's called a realm, or Aldi sell a similar size one. They've actually got 3 trays normally. I ended up with 3 whole units minus 1 base. So I'm going to sell 1 whole unit, and then I'll keep all the extra trays for using for harvesting worms out. So I needed to cover the gap underneath there with a bit of shade cloth, because we get our westerly sun from over that direction. I didn't want it pouring in on the back of those couple of worm farms there. Couple of refinements. I put a tap in that I'd originally got the when the guys were building the shed. I put a poly pipe from the house over to this point just here, and I fixed that up as well so I could have a nice tap here. I've also got that solar powered floodlight. It's a very bright LED light. It's a huge battery pack you can see in behind it. It's solar powered. The wire runs up there onto the roof to a solar panel. I worked out, because I was going to use these metal battens that I got for free from someone, they're a little bit heavier than what people commonly use for battens on the hoop houses, and I wanted to make sure the thing was stable. So my original plan included putting that wooden center support there on the pole that side, and on the shed this side. It's basically it's just under 150 mil, so 6 inches by 1.25 inches piece of wood that goes between those two poles, and the bottom of that pole there is dyno bolted in the ground, and then I just used some metal strapping like goes in the roofs of sheds to stop it moving back and forth left and right. So I strapped it to the wall. I did have a bit of a problem in that I didn't have that. I had the center brace, and then I had a batten either side where that one is, and what happened was when I tightened up the shade cloth, it made that pole just really bow inwards. So what I did is I installed those extra battens, and also took all of the battens that are above my head height right through to the shed. So like there's no way this thing's going to move, even in high wind. I put the star pickets down into the ground by about 1.5 feet as far as I could get them in, because the ground was pretty solid down there. So there's about 4 feet of star picket inside the tubes, and then they're wired on down the bottom by 2 strong wires as well. So I think that's it, guys. That's a view of the shade house. My PC's away getting repaired at the moment. Hopefully I won't have lost the videos that I took of making the whole thing, because I uploaded it to the PC and then deleted it off the phone, would you believe? And then the PC went down yesterday, so I'm hoping I won't have lost all the construction videos. I'll be posting them up to Gumroad. That'll be I'm intending on that being a free download, or donation based anyway, /free. But anyway, so that's the setup with the hoop house. 50% water, 50% UV rated, waterproof or laminated, depending on what you want to call it, shade cloth. I got that really cheap. That was about 1/5 of the price of the really heavy duty 95% unlaminated stuff. So I thought I'd give it a go for the price. So yeah, so there you see it. I'll take a bit of a view from this side. You got the battens going through to the shed. My lovely light. Tonight's the first night I'm allowed to really have it switched on. You're supposed to leave them 5 to 7 days, and I've been copping flack off the kids every time I come out here at night and turn it on for a quick look. So anyway, I'll be doing updates on the wedge as time goes by. That's just a pile of grass in under there that I've had aging for a while. It's 3 big bags of grass, and this grass is just fresh grass I mowed out of our own lawn yesterday. I'm going to use about 50-50 fresh grass and dried grass, because the old age, what I call aged grass in our climate, goes dry, sort of like hay. So there's not much nitrogen left in it. It's mostly carbon. But anyway, there's a view anyway of the new hoop house. It took me a lot of work and a bit of a headache here and there to get it all fixed up, but it was well worth it. And as I said, this used to be, in previous videos you've probably seen the old shade structure that used to be here, that the wheelie bin and the commercial farms used to be in. And I cleaned all that up and took it away, and now I'm going to try and regrow some grass over the bare patches, and I don't know what I'll put there. Maybe thinking of some a 3-bay composting system for the grass to be put in, to semi-compost down a bit more before I use it. But anyway, there's the thing. Hoop house, shade house, greenhouse, depending on what country you come from, is what you'll call it. But I love it. Thanks, guys.